Katamari Damacy, or more commonly known as simply Katamari, is one of those game series that I think everyone should know about. But it's surprising how many people don't actually know what it is. I've loved Katamari for an embarrassingly long time now, especially considering the first game came out not long after I was even born. If you're one of those people who doesn't know what Katamari Damacy is, let me break it down for you. Katamari, meaning clump, and Damacy, meaning spirit or soul, doesn't exactly give the aim of the game away. So essentially what these games task you with doing is rolling a ball around, called the Katamari, which picks up any objects that it interacts with. Every level usually has a time limit, and a single challenge, whether that's increasing the size of your ball to a certain circumference or gathering a certain amount of one specific item. These only get more chaotic the further through the game that you progress, too, which keeps you on your toes. The controls of Katamari games are incredibly easy to understand, which makes them accessible to a huge number of people rather than focusing on having challenging inputs. For the most part, as long as you know how to move your ball around, you don't really need to worry about much else. But that's not to say that the game as a whole is easy. Some of the levels you'll encounter, paired with their time restraints, can be genuinely challenging, but that is half of the fun. However, Katamari didn't start as the ball-rolling clean-up game that we're used to. It actually started as the concept of a game called Action Drive. This game would see the Queen of the Cosmos being kidnapped and the King of the Cosmos deciding that he was too lazy to go and save her. So instead, he tasks his much smaller son, the Prince, that we know and love, to go and save her. But he wouldn't roll around a ball. Instead, he would use his elongated head to knock out humans before sticking a steering wheel atop their head and essentially piloting them. Obviously, this idea was rejected, and one thing led to another, leading to the game that we now know and love. The same characters from the original idea were simply ported over to the Katamari format. The first game, Katamari Damacy, launched in 2004 before it became so popular that a sequel, We Love Katamari, launched in 2005. After this, the game snowballed. Get it? Into a much larger series spanning 9 main games amidst a ton of spin-offs. The most recent, Once Upon a Katamari, is the one I want to talk to you about today. Because if you haven't spent much time getting to know the King of the Cosmos and being the little prince, there's been no better time to do so than right now. So guys, I think it's about time that we talked about Once Upon a Katamari. Much like the previous games, Once Upon a Katamari follows the exact same formula when setting up its story. In some freak accident, the King of the Cosmos has accidentally destroyed all of the stars.
Then His Highness unearths a peculiar scroll. No longer interested in cleaning, His Highness began toying with the scroll and showing off various tricks. His Highness flung the scroll high into the air, crashing through the ceiling, ascending through the clouds, obliterating all in its path.
Except this time, he's destroyed literally every single star in the universe. So with your trusty Katamari, you once again have to step into the petite shoes of the prince to do his bidding. Before you can do that though, you need to board the SS Prince, a spaceship capable of travelling through time. And this adventure spans through the universe's history. Immediately, I knew that Once Upon a Katamari would be a game that I absolutely adored. There's something about the goofy characters and dialogue of Katamari that brings so much life to every single period of history that you come across. So much so, I found myself wanting to replay almost every level, regardless of whether or not I had successfully completed them during my first run. You start off in feudal Japan, rolling around scooping up valuables and traditional Japanese crafts, alongside the odd cousin who have conveniently found themselves in weird situations, before quickly moving on to the American frontier and then the prehistoric period, ancient Greece, and so on and so forth. Each area comes with a plethora of themed levels to make your way through too, meaning there is plenty of content. If you haven't played one of these games before, you're probably wondering how so many levels with the same core mechanic of rolling around can be so engaging. But you just have to trust me on this one, they just are. Having one core aim rather than just roll up as many objects as you possibly can in 5 minutes, except this time we're in Greece or the Ice Age, definitely helps. 1 minute you'll be trying to gather as many drinks as possible before you're challenged to collect as many philosophers as you can see. Each level feels like a blind box, or in this case, a gachapon. You don't know what's inside, just that you're excited to get stuck in. You know your mission in advance, and a brief cutscene shows you around the majority of the level before you're tasked with completing the challenge itself. The items in each section are inherently fun to collect too, but that's easy for me to say as I practically exist in a magpie nest of trinkets and knickknacks that I've collected for years. You're given an incentive to gather as much as possible too, as you have an item catalogue which you fill out. When I say item, I mean literally anything visible in a level 2. Obviously you have to start small with things like pieces of paper and coins and pins, but things pick up incredibly quickly. For example, in the prehistoric era, one of my favourite levels asks you to roll up as many dinosaurs as possible. You start with smaller beasts and eggs before your Katamari is big enough to start picking up larger dinosaurs, and eventually a caveman family, and practically anything that stands in your way. It's hard to believe that you can start uprooting trees and picking up T-Rex in less than 10 minutes when you start at about 5 centimeters tall. But this just goes to show how quick things can change in Katamari. The same applies to the cousins that you need to find in each level too. Everything you pick up is tracked in perfect pages for you to fill out as you roll and roll and roll and keep rolling and roll some more. But before long, you'll find a strange yet compelling sensation to collect literally everything you can. At the end of each level, you're given a grade by the King of the Cosmos, and your Katamari is thrown into the stratosphere to become one of the many stars and planets that you'll inevitably create while you make your way through the game and around history. There are plenty of characters to interact with and help out with your magical rolling ball, and the excitement alone of not really knowing where you'll end up is enough incentive to keep you playing. If customization is important to you, then rest assured this time you can personalize the experience by customizing your own cousin too, which is very important to me. So I did what any sane person would do and made mine all pink with a little fringe to embed myself into the game, and then proceeded to only play as myself rather than the prince. But seeing my own Damacy Sona, is that what we're calling it? Cousin Sona? Anyway, now that I had my own character was one of those things that just subtly improved the entire experience. Once Upon a Katamari is exactly what it promises to be, a true continuation of the Katamari legacy. After 14 years of the series lying dormant, I cannot express how thrilled I am at its comeback, and I cannot wait to spend the rest of my time rolling around and collecting items, as I was always meant to. Hopefully this has cleared up any of your Katamari confusion. If not, be sure to leave me a comment below and subscribe to PC Gamer for more videos like this. Happy rolling!